Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk, this Thursday edition. Welcome to Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on Conservative Talk Radio. You are listening to High Definition Radio. Number to call, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Two questions. I'm going to add one to the original one. What do you think General Petraeus is going to say tomorrow? Remember, his career's over, reputation completely shredded. Do you think he will tell the truth tomorrow? I mean, he knew what happened in Benghazi, and he lied about it. He lied about it to Congress. He knew within 24 hours that that was not a mob demonstration, that it was a terrorist attack. He knew that. He's the head of the CIA. It was the CIA annex that got attacked. It was the CIA station chief that relayed the information back to Washington that this was a terrorist attack. He knew that. He went out to Congress and lied 2 days later. Now, the question is, what's he going to do tomorrow? Is he going to tell the truth about what happened in Benghazi and what happened in that first week or not, and why? Now, from one standpoint, he's got nothing to lose. His reputation shot, his career is over, his political ambitions are gone, so he has nothing to lose. He has no reason not to tell the truth unless they still have something they can hold over him, and want to know what you think that might be and whether you think he will tell the truth or will he toe the party line tomorrow, just like he did right after the Benghazi attack. So that's question one. What do you think General Petraeus is going to say tomorrow? Number two, a lot of pressure now on Republicans to cave on the fiscal cliff. President Obama, we're going to play the sound bites in a second. President Obama saying we cannot afford to hold the middle class hostage. We've got to raise taxes on the upper 2%. Got to raise taxes on everyone makes $250,000 or more. It's the dastardly, stingy Republicans, the friend of the big fat cats that want to hold you back. They want to penalize the 98% because they want to hand out favors to their 2% buddies, even though Obama's the one that's given Carlos Slim $10 on every Obama phone that's out there. He's the one that's given $525 million or something obscene like that to J.P. Morgan to take care of handing out food stamps. So he's the real friend of the fat cats, but he's going to blame all this on Republicans. Do you want the Republicans to give in? Because remember, this is going to affect you. This will affect you. If the Republicans do not cave and everybody's taxes go up, it's going to affect you. So do you want the Republicans to cave on tax cuts for the top 2%? If so, why? If you don't want them to cave, why not? Now, here is President Obama committing the sin of violating the 10th commandment yesterday. This is clip number 7. We got a couple of these clips, 2 of them, where you are going to listen and watch. If you're watching on television or through video streaming at afr.net, you are actually going to watch and listen to the president commit a violation of the 10th commandment on national TV. Here's clip 1.
We should not hold the middle class hostage while we debate tax cuts for the wealthy. We should at least do what we agree on, and that's to keep middle class taxes low.
So tax cuts for the wealthy. And by the way, nobody's talking about tax cuts for the wealthy. That's a distortion of the truth right there. Nobody's talking about tax cuts for the wealthy. What we were talking about is keeping the tax rates right where they are. Nobody's going to get a tax cut on this. The question is whether we raise taxes on certain people. Here is the second clip. Again, President Obama saying, look, we have just got to go take money from the rich because we can't afford not to. Let's listen.
As I've said before, I'm open to compromise and I'm open to new ideas. And I've been encouraged over the past week to hear Republican after Republican agree on the need for more revenue from the wealthiest Americans as part of our arithmetic if we're going to be serious about reducing the deficit. Because when it comes to taxes, there are 2 pathways available. Option 1, if Congress fails to act by the end of this year, everybody's taxes will automatically go up, including the 98% of Americans who make less than $250,000 a year, and the 97% of small businesses who earn less than $250,000 a year. That doesn't make sense. Our economy can't afford that right now. Certainly no middle-class family can afford that right now. And nobody in either party says that they want it to happen. The other option is to pass a law right now that would prevent any tax hike whatsoever on the first $250,000 of everybody's income. And by the way, that means every American, including the wealthiest Americans, get a tax cut. It means that 98% of all Americans and 97% of all small businesses won't see their taxes go up a single dime. The Senate has already passed a law like this. Democrats in the House are ready to pass a law like this, and I hope Republicans in the House come on board too. We should not hold the middle class hostage while we debate tax cuts for the wealthy. We should at least do what we agree on, and that's to keep middle class taxes low. So I'll bring everyone in to sign it right away so we can give folks some certainty before the holiday season.
So that's President Obama saying, look, everybody's going to get a tax cut. That is not true. Nobody's going to get a tax cut on this. Nobody's going to get a tax cut. So President Obama's out there saying, hey, I'm cutting your taxes. I'm cutting taxes for 98%. Don't listen to him. He's lying to you. Nobody gets a tax cut out of this. The wealthy don't get a tax cut. The question is whether some people are going to get a tax increase and whether tax rates are going to be held where they are at. Now, one issue has come up. I want to play this Larry Elder clip. One issue has come up. How do you get black votes? How do you get Hispanic votes? You know, and I've suggested this. I suggested this morning. What we ought to do to get Hispanic votes, because that's the big issue. Well, you got 27% of Hispanics, 27% voted for Mitt Romney. Let's have the Republican Party go to them. Why did you vote for Mitt Romney? Why did you, as a Hispanic American, why did you vote for the Republican Party? And listen to what they tell you and then go out and say that to everybody. Just start telling that to everybody all over the Fruita Plain. So find out from the Hispanics that voted for the Republicans, why did you vote that way? And then that's your message. You just take that and you take that out and you start telling that to everybody in the Fruita Plain. Now, Larry Elder says how we can go get the black vote. Remember, 93 to 95% of blacks voted again for Barack Obama, despite the fact that they've got an unemployment rate over 14%, way higher than it was under Ronald Reagan. Same in the Hispanic community, way higher than it was under Ronald Reagan. And yet they still vote for the Democrat that are wrecking the economy for them. Here's Larry Elder and what can be done about it.
To do it the way you just now did it, look them in the eye and speak to people like they're adults, not like they're children. When I see Republicans speak before black audiences, often they talk about how they used to march with Martin Luther King or their dad marched with Martin Luther King. They don't talk about issues. They don't talk about economics. They don't talk about the fact that when you raise taxes, you actually create the situation where there's fewer jobs. My dad used to tell me that no poor person ever gave me a job. And black people, if you talk to them like adults, they'll respond. When I talk to black people and tell them about the privatization of Social Security, for example, it will disproportionately benefit them. They get it. When I talk to black people about having choice in education, they get it. They want choice, and Obama and the Democrats are opposed to it. If there's any issue that I think might be able to make black people rethink their assumptions, my goodness.
That would be it. And Larry Elder said at one point, look, my dad, it was in the clip. My dad told me no poor person ever gave me a job. I have never gotten a single job from somebody who didn't have more money than I did. So that message he thinks will resonate with black folks. 888-589-8840. One more soundbite, then we'll go to the phones. Paul Ryan talking about the issue of whether President Obama's got a mandate to raise taxes. He's out there saying he does. Paul Ryan says not on your life.
I don't think so because they also reelected the House Republicans. So whether people intend it or not, we've got divided government.
So you don't think there's a mandate here?
So I don't, because then they would have put Nancy Pelosi in charge of the House of Representatives. See, I think these ideas that we talked about, I think they're popular ideas. This is a very close election. And unfortunately, divided government didn't work very well the last 2 years. We're going to have to make sure it works in the next 2 years.
So that's Paul Ryan. Got divided government, no mandate. And the point, and Nancy Pelosi admitted it yesterday. We played the soundbite. She started off by saying, we have the gavel. And then she said, whoops, no, we don't. And everybody laughed because they don't have the gavel. John Boehner's got the gavel. The Republicans have the gavel. So where is the mandate if the House of Representatives still in the hands of Republicans? Let's go to the phones. 888-589-8840. Topics, what do you think General Petraeus will say tomorrow? And do you want the Republicans to cave on extending the Bush tax cuts for the top 2% of small business owners? Let's go to Frank in Crockett, Texas. Frank, you're on Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Yeah, about Petraeus, that is going to be closed doors, right?
It is going to be closed doors, yes.
So we're only going to hear what they want us to hear.
That's correct. It's even going to be off-site, not even going to be on Capitol Hill, as I understand it.
Yeah, see, we're still living in a government of secrecy, okay? So it doesn't matter what they're going to tell us because it's going to be lies anyway.
Well, I'll guarantee it. Now, I'll guarantee you, though, Frank, I will flat out guarantee you that whatever Petraeus says is going to leak out of that room. So the question still is, let's assume for the sake of argument that we do find out what he said. What do you think it will be?
Well, it's gonna be the fact that the administration has been supplying Al Qaeda with weapons, surface-to-air missiles, all that kind of stuff. And apparently, the mission that this ambassador was on, the bottom fell out, and they didn't want it leaking out. That's what I think.
So do you think Petraeus will go in there and tell them that? Do you think he will?
Oh yeah. Well, the truth can. Remember about the arms deal with Reagan. Remember?
Yeah. The Iran Contra deal.
Yeah, Iran Contra. Yeah, exactly. Well, the truth came out, but Reagan had his fall guy, the one who took the fall for him.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Petraeus doesn't have that. Hey, another thing too. Ron Paul gave his farewell address to Congress yesterday. It's on YouTube.
Yes, he did.
And I think that the American people deserve to hear about it from your perspective.
Well, it's 48 minutes worth, and I think it's worth everybody listening to. It's a long listen. I didn't have time to listen to the whole thing. But, and we know where Ron Paul stands, and you want a guy that's going to be a passionate defender of individual liberty and smaller government. You're not going to find a better guy for that than Ron Paul. Now, he was a libertarian, so I did not agree with him on his approach toward the homosexual agenda. His approach there was, hey, whatever floats your boat, knock yourself out, not any of our business. And marriage even shouldn't be recognized by the state. I completely disagree with that. He was a libertarian when it came to drugs, even though we know marijuana will rot your brain and it'll destroy the IQ of teenagers. I think that's something we ought to oppose as a matter of public policy. But you talk about a guy that wanted smaller government, wanted sound fiscal policy, wanted to protect individual liberties. Ron Paul was the guy. So I think it'd be worth for people listening to 48 minutes, but it's on YouTube, and I'm glad they gave him the kind of time they did. He's been there for a long time, and he deserved the podium for that amount of time. Focal Point AFR Talk back with more of your calls, 888-589-8840. Stay with us.
James and